What if Homelander flew to the White House, lasered the president, and took over the United States of America? Welcome back to ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy, and this is why The Boys Season 4 needs to end with Supes taking over the country. This frame right here is from The Boys comics, and we might see this happen in the show. We believe that Season 4 will end with Homelander inciting and leading an insurrection, and he will have an army of Supes with him. So this is why the Seven need to take over and how we think it's going to happen in Season 4 and what it will mean for the future of The Boys.
You'll no longer be beloved celebrities.
In the fewest of ways.
You will be wrathful gods.
The Boys Season 3 ended with Homelander lasering a Starlighter, murdering him in front of a lot of witnesses. And according to what was revealed about Season 4, Homelander is about to stand trial for the murder.
Oh, so it's like that guy you keep seeing on the news. He's blonde too.
No real world politics. The Boys is morbid enough. But this trial is going to divide the country. For the first time, Homelander showed his true self in public. He murdered a guy, and his fans cheered him for it. They believe in what he represents. He stands for their ideals and truth.
But he murdered a guy.
The guy who got killed, well, he's a Starlight supporter. He represents a challenge to their beliefs. So he's the enemy, and Homelander had the right to kill him. So not only does Homelander get support for what he did, he's also validated. And Homelander is such a validation slut that he needs their approval.
I show people the real me, and they love me for it.
Of course, people would run and hide if they truly knew the real Homelander. But with the approval of the people, Homelander is going to gain a lot of terrifying confidence, and that is going to be bad for everyone. Because the government is putting Homelander on trial, so his supporters are about to start a riot, maybe even an uprising. The political divide is growing, and it's about to hit a boiling point. And when people believe in something politically, and more importantly in someone, it becomes like a cult. The truth doesn't matter anymore. It's about the agenda. It's about proving that one side is right and the other is wrong.
You're too online, okay? You've lost context.
And it's not just the extreme fringes of society. Homelander is getting a lot of support from other Supes. The Boys spinoff Gen V revealed that there is a growing divide between Supes and Robert Singer supporters. After Stormfront, Soldier Boy, and the other incidents, the government is taking action against Supes. And some Supes see it as an attack on them personally simply for being different.
Because they're trying to limit us, take away our power. But Homelander is right.
Like in the X-Men.
Exactly. The Supes see themselves as mutants, and the evil government is the bigoted forces that want to exterminate them. But of course, this isn't X-Men 97, and many Supes are entitled psychos who are drunk on power and fame. But we do hear Homelander's words echoed by many younger Supes.
Aren't you gonna get in trouble?
We're superheroes. We can do whatever we want.
Many of them are ready to rise up against the government, which is a powder keg that Homelander is going to capitalize on. In the first trailer for Season 4, we hear Sister Sage. She's the newest member of the Seven. And she outlines Homelander's next diabolical plan. She says that democracy always fails.
Because people are stupid.
But Homelander shouldn't crush the masses because then there would be no one left to love him. But if he nudges the agenda wars, incites both sides of the political equator, then the people will tear each other apart.
Then you get to swoop in and be the one saving it.
Like Caesar.
Like Caesar.
This outlines the plot for Season 4, but it might also set things up for the rest of the show. We believe Season 4 will end with Homelander convincing his fans and other Supes to attack the White House and take over the country. So it's going to be an insurrection, or as we like to call it, the Supe coup. This might be the ending of Season 4 because it creates the perfect story for Season 5 and other future seasons. And something like this does happen in The Boys comic book. Without spoiling anything major, Homelander kind of has a full mental breakdown, and he attacks the White House with an army of Supes. Now, the show doesn't really follow the comics. Eric Kripke and the other writers mostly do their own thing, which is a good thing. But the Supe coup must happen in this season, not only because this frame from the comics will look awesome in the show, but also because the show has been teasing us with this outcome for a while now.
First, I'll take out the nerve centers. White House, the Pentagon.
And it's time for the Boys to take that next big step that will change the entire equilibrium of the show moving forward.
So what's going to make Homelander attack the White House?
Well, that's a good question. So let's explain how we get to this moment from comics that are happening in the show. We always assume that what's going to set Homelander off will be the Flight 37 video going public. In Season 1, Homelander and Maeve stopped a terrorist attack on Flight 37, but Homelander lasered the plane's controls and then he left all of the 118 passengers to die. He literally threatened the helpless passengers to accept their death. And then he lied that the plane crash was the government's fault because they wouldn't let Soups into the military.
Whoever did this to us will hear from all of us!
Now, The Boys has teased this video getting leaked a few times now. The moment this video goes public, everything is over for Homelander. The world will know that Homelander is a liar and a monster. Homelander already told us twice what he's going to do if the video is released.
I'll destroy everything and everyone. I'd prefer to be loved. But if you take that away from me, being feared is A1 okie doke by me.
But that's not actually true, and it never was. Homelander is addicted to the love and approval of others.
Say it! Want them to love me. Yahtzee!
And now that he's getting his support from his fans after killing a guy, he's going to be even more desperate for that approval. In fact, at this point, even if the video gets leaked, Homelander just might get away with it.
Yeah, he could say it's a deepfake.
Sure, and that's basically Vought's MO, cover up the Soups' screw-ups.
Or maybe CGI.
It is not CGI. You don't even know what CGI stands for.
Homelander and Vought are masters of manipulating the truth, rebranding lies as a product that they can sell to the masses. Of course, the video is fake news. It didn't really happen. This is slander created by Starlight supporters who are desperately trying to get people on their side.
When the legend becomes fact, print the legend.
And maybe, just maybe, there's that slim chance that even after the video is released, Homelander supporters will still stand by him. After all, when people become devoted to an idea, they become so engrossed by it that they choose what truth to believe in. They decide to minimize or ignore the faults of their leaders and idols simply because they are the embodiment of their beliefs. And then, even heinous crimes can be justified or diminished just to maintain that illusion. But we're not at the point where Homelander goes full psycho and starts lasering whole cities like he's Daenerys Targaryen. That will happen at some point, probably in the final season. So, when Homelander incites the Soup population to stand with him, it needs to happen because of something that makes him look good. Basically, like he's Magneto.
Your professor's dream is dead, so I offer a new one.
So, as I'm sure you know, Season 4 will focus on the election. Robert Singer is running for president as a Democrat with Victoria Newman as his VP. And like I said earlier, the Soup community and most of Homelander's fans are against Singer.
So Homelander could run for president, right?
Well, in theory, it would make sense for him to be the Republican candidate. But I don't think Homelander will use the democratic process to become president. Remember, this needs to end with the Soup coup, not an election. But don't forget, Homelander is working with Newman. She is playing both sides just like her daddy taught her. If Singer wins, Newman can just pop Singer's head and then she, Newman, becomes the president.
Clever girl.
And this works for Homelander because then he will have an ally in the Oval Office. But Newman sees Homelander as a necessary evil. She uses him, but she knows that she cannot trust him, and he doesn't really trust her either. And since Homelander is so unstable, she will need to kill him, but it doesn't look like she can just pop his head. But she does have a virus that can kill Soups.
Where did she get that?
So, in case you guys didn't watch Gen V, and by the way, it's really good, you should really watch it, we're going to recap a little bit of the show right here. So, in the spinoff, it's revealed that a doctor who worked in a secret lab under Godalkin University created a virus that can kill Soups. This virus is highly contagious, and Indira Shetty wanted to turn it into an airborne virus that would exterminate all Soups.
That was diabolical!
But why? Why does she hate Soup so much?
Well, her husband and daughter were passengers on Flight 37.
Oh.
And she blames Homelander for their deaths. Anyways, the doctor ends up giving the virus to Newman right before she pops his head. So Newman now possesses a weapon that could kill Homelander and any other Soup that stands in her way.
But what about Billy Butcher? Wouldn't he want to use the virus to kill all Soups?
Sure, it's even teased in the trailer.
I have found the answer to all our prayers. A virus that kills Soups.
Shetty told Grace Mallory about the virus. And in the post-credit scene from Gen V, Butcher investigates the underground lab.
So Butcher is going to kill all the Soups.
Well, the old Butcher would have killed them all, but now he has changed. Unless the boys somehow trap Homelander in a glass room that he cannot escape and pump it full of a Soup virus, then he's a goner. But no, that virus is not going to be the end game of the boys. It'll be important in Season 4, and it could be the reason why Homelander finally snaps and attacks the government. So, here's how it can all go down.
This is where the fun begins.
The boys will discover that Newman is experimenting with the virus. It will somehow get out and kill some Soups. but the boys will contain it before it becomes a full-blown plague. And this will trigger Homelander. He could claim that the government tried to kill them all, so now they should retaliate, take out the current regime, and then take over. In the trailer, Homelander tells the Seven that they will no longer be celebrities. It's time for them to be wrathful gods.
Show me a little wrath.
He also says that the country is corrupt and they are going to save it. So this ties into the plan that Sister Sage outlined in the teaser. Homelander will incite the public, turn the angry mobs against each other, weaponize ideals to start a social civil war. This is going to undermine the government because they won't be able to contain the situation. And because the government failed, they tried to use a virus to kill all supes because they want to hoard all the power for themselves. And when Homelander takes over, it will be about the real American heroes seizing power from those corrupt politicians who are taking away the freedom from the people.
And we give it back to you, the people.
With the pretense that the virus was meant to be a genocidal weapon to kill them all, the Supes will take control to defend the country and their kind by attacking the White House, taking out whoever the president is, and Homelander will become the new president.
Proving once again that all Americans are safer with heroes like Sam and Kate protecting us, our values, and our way of life.
Person, do you really think that Homelander is smart enough to do this?
Well, okay, Homelander is a psychotic mind-child who is addicted to fame and attention, but he did have a few moments of diabolical genius in this show. It was his plan to use Compound V to create super terrorists.
Keep saying supervillain is the better term.
Flight 37 was a catastrophic failure, but he was smart enough, or more accurately evil enough, to spin it into a terrorist attack that got the Supes into the army. So Homelander knows how to capitalize on tragedies. For example, in Gen V, there's a Supe riot at Godalkin. Homelander arrives, assesses the situation quickly, and comes up with a plan to blame the good Supes for the rampage. Or like when he got Newman to betray Stan Edgar, and this allowed him to take over Vought. So yes, Homelander could manipulate the public and other Supes by using the virus as the inciting incident to attack the White House and take over. So that is how Season 4 should end. And this sets up a really interesting story for Season 5 and beyond. What happens when Homelander becomes the President of the United States?
Sounds like Zack Snyder's Superman.
Funny you should say that. Snyder based his take on Superman on the Injustice games.
Wait, what's that?
It's a fighting game and a comic book series with one of the best DC Comics stories. Basically, Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane and then he blows up Metropolis. Superman loses his mind and kills the Joker. And then Superman and some other heroes take over the world and rule as a tyrannical regime. And Batman becomes the leader of the resistance group.
I made them safe, but are they grateful? Do they appreciate my protection? No. If they prefer chaos, I'll give it to them.
Something like this could work for the boys. Homelander and his loyal Supes rule the United States, and the boys become the resistance that fights to free the country from their rule.
The whole world is about to burn. We need someone like you, Billy, before the Supes start rounding us up and dumping us off in camps.
This is honestly the best, most realistic path the show could take in its final seasons. Without spoiling the comics, The Boys ends almost immediately after Homelander takes over the White House. But the show could explore what happens if Homelander and the Supes gain control and their insurrection is actually successful. Because I really want to know what Homelander's regime would look like. What happens when the rest of the world goes against his government? We could actually see World War III with Supes.
Hans Zimmer. Title card, Dawn of the Seven, cut to black.
Okay, maybe it's a little too far out for the show. After all, The Boys always avoids indulgence of the usual superhero tropes. For example, even when big battles happen, they are subtle and deliberately awkward. They're less like this and more like this.
Girls do get it done.
The Boys isn't the MCU. It's a very not subtle social commentary on the social and political issues in America. It's a criticism of corporate greed, media manipulation and bias, celebrity fame, racism, idol worship, the corruption of power, and more. So, if the show indeed goes with this route, it would be far more nuanced than some giant big battle, and that is fine by me. But this show is the best opportunity for us to see a world ruled by tyrannical superhumans.
I am the Homelander. And I really can do whatever the f*** I want.
Obviously, Homelander will never be able to build anything good. He is incapable of that. And this is what makes this so interesting. What happens when gods rule the world, but those gods are completely inept and can't even be trusted to run a lemonade stand? Homelander is not Lex Luthor. He's not even evil Superman or Omni-Man. The moment things don't go his way, his ears start ringing and he throws a tantrum. And since he has zero impulse control and he always needs the approval of others, he can never follow through with his plans, even when he achieves them. So even if he takes over and becomes President Homelander, it's going to be a shit show. And the moment the people start turning on him, especially his fans, Homelander will lose the love and worship. See, without it, he's got nothing. And we're pretty sure that Ryan is not going to stick by his dad past season 4. Ryan joined his father, and he's even in his Spider-Man 3 phase. When Homelander's with his son, there's a rare kindness to him.
But aren't you mad at me for what I did?
You know it wasn't your fault, right?
He cares for his son, even loves him. Ryan represents his first true family connection. Homelander never had that before, and this is why he needs Ryan so much. Why he immediately latches to Soldier Boy after discovering that he's his father. And when Homelander loses his son, the only person that he might actually love and could actually love him back unconditionally, then it's time for him to laser everyone. And this is where the boys and other good soups, like the ones from Gen V, will have to finally kill Homelander. They might even bring back Soldier Boy to use his radiation to take away Homelander's powers. Or maybe Ryan will be the one to stop his father. And then finally, Butcher is gonna kill that SOB.
In the end, only one of us left standing.
The show keeps teasing this final confrontation and having it culminate after Homelander ruined everything. That would be the most poetic ending. Because in the end, Homelander will prove that he is a true monster. He's not the real hero and he can't do whatever he wants. And this is why The Boys Season 4 needs to end with Homelander taking over. But what do you guys think? Are we going to see Homelander take over, or would The Boys go in a completely different direction? Big shout out to the writer and editor of this video, Mr. Pavel T. You can find his social links below. Let us know what you think down in the comments or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe and smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.